This is Che Guevara. In 1951, he went on a bike ride around South America. He became completely jaded with capitalism after looking at a bunch of poor people starving, and he wanted to fix that. So Che went to Mexico. He gave up on his doctor practice and decided to fight for his ideology instead. In Mexico, Che joined up with Fidel Castro and went on a trip to Cuba, where they overthrew the American-supported dictator Fulgencio Batista in the Cuban Revolution. Now, after the success of getting Fidel in power, Che was given the job of Minister of Industries, and he went ahead and executed hundreds of people before deciding that he was bored of that and he wanted to spread communism further, and he fucked off to go spread it like a virus. Here's a photograph of Che. You may have seen this before. And sometime after this, he ended up getting captured by the CIA-sponsored army in Bolivia, where he was executed, but not before sharing one of the most badass final lines ever. "Shoot, coward. We're only going to kill a man." Che Guevara is what is known as a great man of history. There's a theory that the world that we live in is shaped by individuals who, for better or for worse, have a gravitas that has the capability of changing the entire course of history. These individuals come into the world possessing certain characteristics or traits that are not found in normal people. But that's not you, is it? Now, don't get it twisted. The great man theory doesn't just say these people of history were just positive forces for good. It explains everything. Adolf Hitler, Genghis Khan, Napoleon, Winston Churchill, Alexander the Great. These are people who, through sheer will or intelligence or divine providence, were able to steer the boat of history in some direction or another with their actions. They raped and pillaged and destroyed, and slowly but surely, they ended up bringing benefits to the world through their leadership and their narcissism. You don't want to just work and pay bills and die. You want to do work that is meaningful. Something that makes life better for your fellow humans, animals, nature, or whatever it is you're trying to save. But my lord, is that a lot of responsibility. And what are all these self-doubts that you have? The great men of history didn't have that, so why do you have that? What are all these little distractions that you're encountering? There's nowhere that shows that Napoleon got sidetracked by these thoughts like you do. It says here that Alexander the Great was singularly focused on conquest, on overshadowing his father. How come you aren't singularly focused on anything? How come there's a hunger to change the world, but no real direction on what you even want to change? Maybe, just maybe, it's because you aren't destined to do great things. So what does this mean? Does this mean we should just say, fuck it, and go get a job as a car salesman? Maybe, just maybe. I've been here before, thinking that it's my destiny to achieve great things, and it's just a ton of responsibility, and it is so stressful. When I look at some of my heroes like XXX Tentacion or Winston Churchill, they knew deep down that they were destined for greatness. They just went for it. But I didn't even know where to start, and I still don't. So what do we do when we want to change the world, but we have no clue where to even start? I've taken a long look at the things that I want to change about the world. I've taken a long look. I've tried to make the world adapt to those adjustments. And time after time, I've failed. For some reason, the world just doesn't want to adapt to my will. What's going on? Where do we go from here? Well, I have a suggestion. We only worry about becoming our best selves from now on. Forget world hunger. Forget human trafficking. Forget doing right by others. What this world needs is more selfish people. Not selfish in the way that you're going to hurt others, but selfish in the way that you put your need for fulfillment before the needs of everyone else. Being selfish is the common ingredient in the great man theory. Having a narcissistic goal is going to do a lot more for the world than will all these bleeding hearts who only want to do something if it's going to impact the world properly. These selfish, narcissistic bastards, they wanted what they wanted for personal gain. When you want something for personal gain, you're going to do what needs to be done. When you're doing something to be nice, you're going to stop at the first sign of trouble. The pages of history are filled with these altruistic people, bless their souls, who had the best of intentions, but got ran over on the way by some narcissist chasing their own personal goals. Those who make a real difference start by having a goal and toiling away at it. It may not be for any good reason, but in the process of doing it, they make a big difference in the lives of others. Arnold Schwarzenegger set out to become the best bodybuilder to grace this earth, to destroy his competition and be unquestionably the best. The result of this was that he inspired millions of people to get into shape. His rules helped many achieve their dreams and work away at them. Bill Gates set out to be a front-runner in the home computer revolution. He used this desire to make some morally questionable business decisions and win. And so, my advice for you is just to focus on you. As Jordan Peterson once said, set your house in perfect order before you criticize the world. Before you try to make a massive impact on the child slave trade, why don't you brush that depression off long enough to do some of those dishes that have been piling up? Just focus on you for now. Don't worry about sacrificing yourself for the good of others. No one will appreciate it anyways. Just worry about being the best that you can be, and if you get big enough, if you get successful enough, you can inspire and you can bring about real change. But that's a side effect of doing your best, not a target. To be one of the great men or women of history, you need to focus on you. There's a quote from Rumi that says, "Yesterday I was clever, so I wanted to change the world. Today I'm wise, so I'm changing myself." Don't worry about setting out to change the world. Just set out to become the best version of you. And with some luck, that will have a ripple effect that can change the course of history. Or you can fizzle out and die and no one remembers you. That is the more likely scenario. But in the end, it doesn't really make too much of a difference anyway. I hope this helps.